Hey all, it's Jeanette Machnes, marketing specialist here at Panova, and in honor of Manufacturing Day 2020, I'm here to introduce you to the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin English. Kevin has been in the manufacturing industry and with Panova for over 35 years. That's right, Kev, about 35, maybe a little more?
It's actually 43 or more.
43 or more. Well, so I thought, what better way to celebrate a day in honor of the industry than by picking the brain of a man who has experienced it for longer than I have been alive. Sorry, Kev, I had to get that in there. Really though, Manufacturing Day is all about teaching future generations of manufacturing experts about the industry. And I honestly can't think of a better person to do that than Kevin. Now, he's not going to admit it, but he is certainly a manufacturing guru, and I, personally, as well as members of the Panova team, are all very lucky to have him at our disposal. So we figured it was time to share his wealth of information with all of you. So without further ado, Kev, can you just give us a little bit about yourself and maybe your time spent in manufacturing and at Panova?
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin English. I'm married 42 years this October to my wonderful wife. I have two sons, both are in the mid to late 30s, and I have two granddaughters who I love tremendously. And I'm sorry if I can't stop talking about them, but they're both two great young ladies. My wife and I are both from North Jersey, and that's where we raised our family. I'm also a retired volunteer fire chief. I have a great love and passion for the fire service, and I believe everyone should volunteer somehow, some way in their lives. It makes you a better person. Whether you have time to go volunteer at the schools, reading books to children, the local hospitals, working with the seniors, whatever, do something. It will definitely improve you as a person. I still enjoy going down to the firehouse and doing some training and teaching whenever they ask. Since graduating school, I've worked for 3 companies, all in the manufacturing area. I have over 43 years in the rubber industry. I'm currently working at Panova since 1986, but I will be retiring this year.
You sure about that? We can't keep you on a little longer?
No, the motions are in place. It's retirement at the end of the year.
Well, we are very happy for you. We'll be sorry, we'll be sad to see you go, but at least we'll have this video to remember and play every year on like a yearly anniversary.
Well, that's good. What I do for Panova, well, the title of my business card says Senior Account Manager. I'm not sure if I like that word senior, but I think maybe it's an old comment or an old joke. But at Panova, we describe ourselves this way. We are a small rubber manufacturing company and distributor, so we all wear many hats in the course of one day. My main focus is on client service and inside sales. But if we're getting low on the milk for the coffee, well, I'll run out and get it. I'm also known as the Bagel Man.
He is known as the Bagel Man. Bagel Fridays will not be the same.
That's right. I like to bring bagels in on Friday. It puts a smile to people's faces, and I like that. Over the years, I've held many positions from production manager to administrator, but my true strength is the manufacturing side. I enjoyed the process and seeing the results of what's being designed, being hands-on, working side by side with manufacturing people, teaching them the art of rubber molding.
And guys, he can actually, the greatest thing about Kevin is I think the greatest thing that I learned about him is if you give him a piece of rubber, he can actually sniff it, smell it, and tell you exactly what kind of rubber it is. It's sort of like a fun party game we like to play with him. I'm not sure his wife sort of likes to bring that out when they go out for parties, but you know, it's fun in the office. So what would you say drew you to the field?
Well, really the field found me. I was just a kid looking for a good job and something with a good future. Again, I was very fortunate to be hired by 2 companies that saw something in me and gave me a chance to prove myself. I like working with my hands, designing parts that may never be seen in their entire lifetime, but play an important role on the product and how well it performs. I would go places with my wife, began to stare at things. She would ask, "What are you doing?" I would answer, "I'm just wondering if I made that rubber part that works inside of that.
Is
I
that where she
remember,
stopped taking you out places?
yeah. I also remember being questioned by a security guard in Newark Airport. I was checking out one of the rubber boots that are on the lift truck. And of course, he told me to move on and leave their equipment alone. Once I explained that I believe I made that rubber boot, he still gave me a look and told me to move on. The rubber industry became a part of me. Like I said, the field found me.
I mean, that's great. And we've heard all those stories, and it's always great to hear those coming from you. If you were to say, if you were to pinpoint some of the skills that you've developed during your career, what ones do you think are probably the most important?
Well, I think, like most people, I would start by saying my people skills. When I first started out, it was all about production rates. Push the people, get more production each and every day, get more production. Just look at the daily numbers, never took the time to understand what was involved in getting the job done. When you stop, listen, and learn what is needed by the production people, we quickly found they were able to beat those rates and get a lot more. You have to make people feel important. You have to stay in touch with what's going on. You can't just sit behind a desk and draw up great plans and expect it to work wonderfully out on the production floor. Get out there, learn, and understand what's needed to be successful. I think one of the other things I enjoy a lot is teaching. I enjoy working with people every day. When I saw an opportunity to teach people, I'd get excited. I would take all of your knowledge with you, whatever you learn, and if you don't share what you've learned, really, you've learned nothing. Because when you leave, all that knowledge will become lost.
Yeah, and I think that skill is actually very helpful for us at Panova. Everyone that you've spoken to there, especially me in marketing, you really didn't have to teach me those things, but I remember you would always be like, you would teach me something and you'd be like, is that okay? And of course it's okay. And just so everybody knows, I'll tell you right now, in Kevin's office was the place to go to get taught. Anything you needed to know, you could walk right in. He'd stop anything he was doing. So when he says he loves teaching, it's definitely one of his best skills. I can definitely confirm that.
You gotta leave your door open. You gotta willing to let people come in and have those conversations. I enjoy watching people's eyes light up when they understand something that you're showing them. And now you truly have accomplished something when you made someone else's life a little bit better by teaching them. I also have a very strong belief in getting things done. I'm always driven to get things done on time, to do what's needed to get done. I look at the big picture, then I break down the details. Sometimes people get lost in the details. I just made sure we always move forward. And I think finally I would say problem solving. Each and every day there will be many problems, some small, some big. You can't run away from this. You must take the time to listen, understand, ask questions, and then come up with an answer. You have to think on your feet. The greatest thing in this life is that you can make a decision. And if you change your mind, you can change your decision. But you have to address the problem and keep the operation moving forward.
I think what's great about that too is that it's not just a manufacturing skill. I think that's a life skill. And I know I can say from the team here at Panova that you probably taught us a bunch of those as well. So that's nice to carry over. But, since you've been in the industry 43 years, which is still crazy for me to say, what do you think has changed since you started? I'm sure there's a number of things, but if you had to pick a few that you can honestly say, you can look at it and be like, wow, that's not how it used to be, or wow, it's gotten better, what would you probably say?
Well, the rubber industry is an old industry. The manufacturing process that I used at the beginning are still used today. However, the manufacturing machines, the mold designs have greatly changed. This has resulted in reducing waste, cycle times, and improving efficiency. We're using less people to make the same amount of product due to technology advancements. The old rubber industry was very dirty. I can remember picking up rubber compound from a mixing house. I would walk through the front door, and by the time I got to the back door, I've grown a full inch just from the carbon block that was laying on the floor. No, that's a true story. You always had to take your shoes off and clean them before you got back into your car, and definitely before you went home at night, because you didn't want to dirty up the house.
I was about to say Domenico probably was not thrilled with that when you would come home with those on your feet.
Today we have computer controls to help machines operate at peak performance. Embracing technology, I think, has been the biggest change in the manufacturing operation. It makes it safer, faster, and produces a better product. But the changes in technology were not only on the shop floor, but in the office too. I can remember waiting for the postman to come because everything came from the postman. Our quote requests, our new orders, our checks, everything came from the postman. We'd wait by the front door. It was 10:15, and we knew he was coming around to deliver his mail. So every department was standing there. When we got finally this new machine that would print out documents over the phone lines, it was called a fax machine. We thought this was one of the most greatest inventions. It helped us speed up in getting all of our quotes and our orders much faster. It was a little noisy, a little slow, and sometimes dirty from the thermal paper, but we were very happy with what that gave us. And of course, in today's world, the computerization that happens throughout the office that allows us to be much more efficient.
That's great. I can't imagine the patience that taught you, however, having to wait for those things. Now it's so simple.
Well, you really got to know your postman because he would bring all these big bundles of stuff for you, and you really were waiting for it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What advice would you give to those looking to work in the manufacturing industry today?
Well, do your research, choose an industry that you have an interest in, and do it. If you like designing, working with your hands, building something no one else has or can, then get involved. I think you will start to see more and more manufacturing operations coming back to the US over the next few years. We have a great resource of technology, a great group of smart people to make this happen. This country is built on its ability to manufacture anything. Get involved and make it happen again.
It's great. And I think this is probably the question that's hardest for me to ask and easiest for you to answer. What are your plans for retirement?
My wife and I are both planners, and we've been planning this for several years now. We've decided to move down around a large city in the Carolinas. I need a little warmer climate for my health now, and we picked this area out. We've been looking at the 55 and older communities. We like the lifestyle that they have to offer. Since we're moving to an area where we do not know anyone, we like the fact that these communities have many group activities for us to get involved with. We've learned that this particular area has a large group of people from New Jersey and New York. This should help the transition. Once my other love is to go fishing. So this area is close to a large lake. We plan on buying a small pontoon boat. My wife can drive and read her books, and I can fish all day. Since this is a community with a golf course, my wife wants to buy an electric golf course and be the primary driver. And to be honest, this makes me very concerned. I picture riding all over the place, scaring people, running them over, but I will be retired by the end of 2020.
Well, I look forward to the stories of that, but I do hope you'll keep the same cell phone number so when we need you in a panic mode,
Sure.
you either pick it up or you hang up on us. So we're looking forward to seeing that. But is there anything like last statements you want to make? Anything you want to say before we end this? Because I really do appreciate this, and I think, anybody that's watching it will as well.
Well, like I said, I worked for 3 companies in my lifetime, and I was very fortunate to do that. I know in today's world, you don't hear of that too much. But I was fortunate enough to work for 2 very great companies and 2 very great people, both of them becoming mentors and teachers for me. Ed Dimitri also became a very close friend, and still today I work now with his son. So I'm part of not only the Panova family, but I'm also part of the Dimitri family. So for me to say that I'm going to retire uh, is a lot. It's something that I guess you look forward to, and at the same time, you're very concerned about what's in front of you. But I wish everyone to get involved in the manufacturing industry. I enjoy it. It gave me a lot of enjoyment over my years. So try it.
That's amazing. Thank you for your time. I'm not going to cry about you retiring right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this interview. But thanks again.
Thank you.